is, I think Marie's online. Are you?
Yes, coming.
Great.
Yes.
Great. Good on you. Okay. The floor is all yours. You've got 10 minutes, and thank you for waiting and going to the trouble of hooking on.
Wonderful. Thank you. I can't see you all. Don't know if that's my settings, but it's okay. Look, our submission from the Akaroa Civic Trust is really about threat to life and safety. It sounds quite dramatic, doesn't it? But Christchurch City Council's Climate Action and Leadership page on its website says that communities need to be accessible and well connected. And that's a real issue for Akaroa. And so our main request is for the funding of a climate adaptation plan for Akaroa. We believe that this is critical for the strategy going forward for everything else, including the BP Meets submission process that's been open at the moment. Whakaraupo Littleton Harbour has just had its climate adaptation plan signed off by the councillors, and when we look at that planning, Littleton Township is not actually really in that because there's no effect by sea level rise to Littleton other than the port area, and Akaroa conversely has major impact from sea level rise, including access roads. Again, we've seen just recently on the 18th of March the main road from Christchurch to Akaroa being closed for flooding, and also at that same event a bridge washed out on a rural road. And so one of the reasons that I haven't come to town today to submit to the hearing is mobility and access, which is actually a real risk, and it is raining here. There's no warnings today, but it's a real risk that I can't get home to pick up my child from school. And then where would she sleep the night? Who would look after her? Those sort of things we have to think about as a rural community before we decide to come to Christchurch for the day. And that's not an exaggeration. We also believe that this submission is really about two things. It's about community strength and safety, and tourism management. So those two things, community strength and tourism management, and those two things go together. That climate adaptation planning is the bedrock of tourism management. We can't have tourism in Akaroa if we don't have a road, if we don't have parks, if we don't have places that those people can be managed and stay. Also, community strength and resilience is critical for heritage protection. That heritage protection, which is what the Akaroa Civic Trust is about, is reliant on climate adaptation. That many of our heritage structures in Akaroa need a climate adaptation plan for them to be secure in the long term. That is why we've asked the council not to develop the BP Meat site until a climate adaptation plan is available, so that we can understand the threat to those heritage structures and if we need to move them. Equally, there's many other things that may need to move, including recreational and community facilities. So the second thing that we've asked for here is to have a steering group for the destination management plan. That's really critical, that the community fought quite hard against the destination management plan that was first proposed, and through extensive second round consultation with the community, we agreed to a community group that would work together with Christchurch NZ to implement the destination management plan. We don't see that happening, and we have heard that that won't happen, and that's really very concerning for the community, that our voices won't be heard again. We asked for the extension of the Akaroa Service Centre hours, and we thank the council for the information centre. They're quite basic things that we need as a community going forward. We support the upgrade of the Akaroa recreational facilities and the proposal for a multicultural community centre. We think that that's critical in Akaroa at the moment because of the high suicide rate that Akaroa has experienced in the recent years. It's quite concerning that that hasn't been picked up previously by the council or by any leadership, that the suicide rate in Akaroa is well above the national average at the moment. Te Whatuora's rate for the 2023-24 year was 11.2 suicides per 100,000 people, or 0.01% of the population. And in Akaroa, the suicides that we know of have been 4 out of 780 people. That's 0.5% of the population. So I'll just go over that again because it's quite critical that that's understood, that the national average is 0.01% and the Akaroa statistics are 0.5%. So we are calling on support from the council for the community cohesion and structure. We think that that is really critical, that the community has not had strong networks. There's been a change in the demographics of the town, and that needs to be reflected in the services that are available. So we really encourage that the community is supported in those aspirations. We also ask, along with the BP Meets submission process, that the Akaroa Traffic Management Plan is updated. It has been, I don't know the year of it was done, and it has been sitting on a shelf. It's never been implemented. There is an increased number of recreational boats with huge trailers and large SUVs that come to Akaroa for domestic tourism, and roads are often very, very narrow and very dangerous. It's quite incredible that there are not more accidents with the traffic and parking in Akaroa. And alongside that, we ask for the community board and the council to go ahead. The community board has already put improving walking access along Beach Road as a priority, but nothing has come from that. We're simply asking for the outer edge of Beach Road to be straightened so that there's no dips and holes and trip hazards, so people are at the moment forced to walk in the middle of the road, which is obviously an issue. We just want them to be able to walk on the outside of the road and have a safe marking along the road, because of course we have Takapuniki and the Pretamark Memorial that are incredible heritage values that we need to protect, but also we need to allow safe access to those, which is not there at the moment. And alongside the climate adaptation plan, which we don't have, and so we need to respond to emergencies as a community from a community response process, that we have more funding available for the emergency response team and the excellent work that the community has been doing there. I think that's all, and I'm happy to take your... Oh, I do have one other thing. So I would just like to point out again the Christchurch City Council Climate Action Plan. Is a key thing of the submission, and also that the community board priorities and planning as well, that there is a strategy there for the climate adaptation planning. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? Tyrone.
Kia ora, thank you, Your Worship. Hi, Marie, it's Tyrone here. Kia ora.
Hi, I can't see you. Maybe I have to change this.
But you can hear me all right, hopefully.
I can see you, yes. I can.
Oh, you can see me?
Okay.
Yeah. So just a couple of things. So just in terms of adaptation plan, so obviously I'm getting a sense of real urgency from you around that. So you've obviously seen the Littleton or the Whakaraupo one in Port Levy. Mm-hmm. Are you advocating for one for Akaroa Harbour or for the wider sort of Akaroa and the Bays area? Like what's the range that you're kind of looking at there? That's the first question.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a great question. Look, I think it's critical that Akaroa Township and the travel routes for the Akaroa Township are done as a priority. And I say that as a rural person, that I would love to see climate adaptation for all of rural Banks Peninsula as well. But I understand the length of the process that would need to go through. And I think Akaroa is actually critical. When you look at Littleton Whakaraupo's plan, the cost and the difficulty of implementing that is going to be minor compared to Akaroa's.
Thank you. Can I just do a quick follow-up question? So that's good. That's a very helpful steer, Marie. Thank you. Just picking up on your comment around Beach Road in Akaroa, you'll know that that's number 3 on the priority list for the community board in terms of traffic, traffic engineering. I guess probably the key thing that you raised there is the importance of that as an access way to Takapuniki. So is the Civic Trust supportive? I know that there's a lot of funding allocated to Takapuniki. Is the Civic Trust suggesting that some of that funding is diverted into making sure that there's adequate access along Beach Road to the site?
Look, I haven't discussed that with the board, so I don't feel comfortable answering that question as to where the funding we would ask for it to come from. What we do know is that the Beach Road needs to be improved for the Akaroa Lighthouse and Britomart as well. So whether that is included, in my mind, it's not a huge, we're not requesting a huge expense. It's just simply, we don't want boardwalks, we don't want a huge, development, just simple sealing of the outside, making it flat, marking it. That's all it needs. There's
Okay.
no walking access from Onuku Road from the top site. So the Beach Road is the only way that you can safely get through there.
Yeah, no, okay. Thank you. That's really helpful, and I appreciate you raising that. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the time today.
Good on you. Cheerio. Right. Now we have Anthony, Tom, Andrew.